right. Welcome to our annual Memorial Day breakfast, sponsored by the Friends of Franklin Elders. Um, can you please silence your cell phones at this time? Thank you for joining us today to honor our deceased veterans and their families and to pause and reflect upon the sacrifice they have made to defend our freedoms. I wish to remind our veterans that they may render the hand salute during the passing of the colors and the national anthem. It is proper to place your hand over your heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the posting of the colors by members of the American Legion Edward L. Grant Post 75 and remain standing for our national anthem and invocation. Commander Milo, post the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Morning, Doctor. Awesome, pretty sure that this morning, very important. It's honored in every public value service. First men and women who made this great sacrifice that we might love the country that's free. May their rest in peace. Keep their families safe, with graces, give them peace and comfort. Let us always be reminded of the wonderful lives we have because of this service. Thank you for the many blessings that they have brought on through. Stand tall in knowledge that you have blessed us. We give you thanks for the ability to honor them. And also remember all those currently serving in law enforcement, protecting and defending. Grant that they continue to serve you and your country with honor. We also ask that you watch over our veterans in our country. Comfort those who are suffering, physically, emotionally, and mental illness. Relieve their suffering, bring them back to full health, so they may continue to serve you. And then, Lord, we thank you for the many blessings. You have been most generous. We ask you to heal our country, bring us back to fulfillment, enjoy the Lord of our. Bless us with a healthy healing. Let us remember what is most important to us, family, friends, and people.
Please be seated. Thank you to the Franklin High School Chorus for their beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And to VFW Post 3402 Chaplain Louis Huga for leading our invocation, and to United States Army veteran Joseph Crisafulli for leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you all for joining us today. This day would not be possible without our veterans and family members. Thank you for your service and patriotism. I wish to recognize our state and local officials who are here with us today or will be later. Senator Rebecca Rausch, State Representative Jeffrey Roy, and later we may be joined by Norfolk County Commissioner Richard Stady. We have several members of our town council here. Can you wave, please? We have our town administrator, Jamie Helen, and several town officials. Commander Ernest Carruthers from VFW Post 3402, Commander Dick Hines from American Legion Post 75, and last but not least, our featured speaker, United States Army veteran and Franklin DPW Director Brutus Canareggi. I'd like to have Commander Dick Hines come to the stage. To my right here, you will see the Chair of Honor, which is displayed on the first floor of the Senior Center near the elevator. The Chair of Honor is a reminder that our nation continues to actively search for our POWs and missing service members. And it reminds us that there will always be a place for them when they return home. There's another special table on the stage. Its purpose is also to honor our missing comrades in arms. And now Navy veteran and American Legion Post 75 Commander Dick Hines will tell you more about the items on the table and their very special meaning.
I would like to open our program this morning by honoring the many thousands of United States servicemen who are either POWs or are missing in action. At the present time, there are more than 80,337 World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and Cold War veterans who are still missing. The Defense POW MIA Action Agency estimates that about 38,000 are still recoverable. For many of us, memories of the Vietnam War are still fresh in our minds. 1,556 of our fellow servicemen are still missing from that war. In 2025, the agency recovered 123 of our fallen, 99 from World War II, 24 from Korea, all whose remains have been repatriated and returned to their families. In 2025, World War II tail gunner Staff Sergeant Loring Ward was returned to his home in Boston with full military honors. So we honored him and all yet to be found here this morning. Please direct your attention to my left. You'll notice a table set before you. It's raised to call your attention to its purpose. It is reserved to honor our missing comrades. This table is set on every military base, naval ship, and every dining facility in the United States military. This table is set for our prisoners of war and those missing in action from all wars. They may not be with us today, but their empty chair symbolizes our timeless wait for their return. Small table is set for one, representing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The table is round, showing our everlasting concern for our POWs and MIAs. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose signifies the blood that they may have shed, sacrificed to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose, reminding us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon stands for the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of thousands in the past who demanded an unyielding determination, appropriate counting of our comrades who are not with us today. The slice of lemon reminds us of the bitter fate of those missing, captured, or held as prisoners in foreign lands. A pinch of salt denotes the tears of our missing and their families who long for answers after decades of uncertainty. The Holy Bible represents the strength gained through faith in our country, founded as one nation under God, to sustain those lost from our midst. The lighted candle reflects the light of hope, which lives in our hearts, to illuminate their way home, away from their captors to the open arms of a grateful nation. The glass is inverted, symbolizing their inability to share this morning's toast. Please, grab your water glasses. Let us now raise our water glasses to toast America's POWs and MIAs, to our missing friends. Thank you all.
Commander.
Thank you, Commander Hines. This morning, we remember the 45 Franklin servicemen who died during our nation's wars. They are forever honored on our Veterans Memorial Walkway. This morning, we also pay tribute to the 49 Franklin veterans who left us this past year. The names of our departed heroes and heroines are on the honor roll under table. Of our dear departed veterans, 3 served during World War II, 16 served in the Korean War era. 20 served during Vietnam. 9 served during peacetime. There were 24 Army veterans, 12 Navy veterans, 8 Air Force veterans, 3 Marine Corps veterans, and 1 Coast Guard veteran. Please now stand and bow your heads for a moment of silent remembrance of our departed brothers and sisters in arms. Please be seated. You will also see the poppies on your table, donated by VFW Post 3402. In 1915, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae wrote the famous poem In Flanders Field to immortalize the fallen soldiers buried underneath the hardy poppies following the Second Battle of Ypres. Since then, poppies have become the symbol of our fallen heroes and of Memorial Day, so we never forget them. Please wear the poppies over your heart during the day as a reminder of the sacrifices made by our veterans while protecting our freedoms. And I also want to mention the favors on your table were created by Kathy Lessica and our team. Also there to remind us of the immense sacrifices that have been made by our veterans. And thank you to the National Honor Society for donating the green bracelets you see there as well. Just so everyone's aware, we are going to be changing the order of our speakers today due to scheduling. And but we have many distinguished speakers here with us. And I'm privileged to invite Senator Rebecca Rausch up to the stage. Currently serving her 4th term, Massachusetts State Senator Becca Rausch represents the Norfolk, Worcester, and Middlesex District, consisting of 11 towns in Metro West and South Central Massachusetts. She is the first woman and first Jewish person to serve several of the district's communities in the Senate and is the only mother of younger children in the Senate. A former practicing attorney and law professor, Senator Rausch serves as Senate Chair of the Joint Committees on the Environment and Natural Resources and Municipalities and Regional Government, and the Vice Chair of the Senate Committee on the Census. She also serves as an at-large member of the Board of Directors of the Massachusetts Caucus of Women Legislators and in leadership of the National Association of Jewish Legislators. The granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor, Senator Rausch is a lifelong advocate for social justice, reproductive rights, public health, transparency, and equity. In 2024, her Plastics Reduction Act passed the Senate by a bipartisan supermajority vote, and her legislation to create professional midwifery licensure, support post-pregnancy mental health care, and curb anti-choice crisis pregnancy centers were central components of the Massachusetts landmark maternal health law. Senator Roush holds degrees from Brandeis University, Northeastern University School of Law, and the University of California, Berkeley School of Law. And I will turn the podium to Senator Roush.
Thank you, Shannon, for that very generous welcome, and good morning, everyone. It is a real privilege to represent Franklin and the 10 other municipalities in their district in the Massachusetts Senate. Thank you to the organizers of today's event and also Monday's events, to all of the veterans here, and to my fellow elected officials, Representative Roy, Town Council Chair DeLorco, Vice Chair Grella, Clerk Cormier Ledger, and Member Marangello. I think I got everybody. Right. It is a real privilege to share some remarks with you this morning. And it is truly an honor to join you as we observe this solemn occasion. Today, we mourn the soldiers, sailors, Marines, Air Force personnel, and National Guard members who gave their lives in service to our country. We remember their sacrifices and their heroism. Heroes come in many forms. Some run toward danger. Some do their jobs to the best of their ability under difficult conditions. All answered the call to service. Those who died when answering that call gave their last full measure of devotion to our shared American values of justice and liberty. Today is a reminder to reflect on and appreciate the freedoms we enjoy. They are the legacy of those who gave their lives in defense of those freedoms. Each year on Memorial Day, I return to the same question. How do we truly honor these service people? We hold their names and their faces in our heads and our hearts. We remember their strength, their tenacity, and their love. We give thanks for their sacrifices. Gratitude is deeply important, but insufficient on its own. Our Gold Star families, as well as our current service members and veterans and their families, deserve meaningful support. I'm proud that my colleagues and I in the Massachusetts Senate continue to extend and ensure that support. Last November, the Senate unanimously passed the EASE Act to support military families, ensuring that kids can stay at their current schools even if their parents are temporarily transferred. The Senate also passed a bill to designate September 22nd as Military Service Members and Veterans Suicide Awareness Remembrance Day. This year's Senate budget, which we just concluded our debates and vote on literally less than 24 hours ago, last night, fully funds the home-based program to expand no-cost behavioral health services. For those who died in service, we honor their memories and their sacrifices by reflecting not just on their deaths, but on their lives. To that end, I'd like to share a few words about one man whose name you'll find on the Franklin Veterans Memorial Walkway. Charles Christakes was born in Franklin on October 1st, 1920. He lived on Garfield Street with his parents, 3 sisters, and a brother. Charles graduated from Franklin High School in 1938 and then attended Dean Academy, now known as Dean College. Charles was an outstanding athlete. He played several sports growing up and even played semi-pro baseball and football in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. During World War II, he joined the Navy and was stationed in the Pacific aboard the destroyer USS Hugh W. Hadley. On May 11, 1945, Seaman First Class Charles Christakes was manning the ship's guns during the Battle of Okinawa when he was killed during a heavy aerial bombardment. He was 24. He was buried at sea off of Okinawa and awarded the Silver Star for Valor in combat. Charles was remembered by his family, friends, and classmates here in Franklin. To the families of the fallen, on behalf of a grateful Commonwealth, I extend my sincere condolences for your losses. May their memories be a blessing. I hope you feel our deep appreciation for you and your loved ones' dedication to our country and our values. To all the veterans here, thank you for your service and for carrying with you the memories of friends who never made it home. Thank you again to everyone involved in organizing this event and to all of you in attendance for gathering to pay our collective respects and honor the memories of the fallen. I wish you all a peaceful and meaningful Memorial Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Senator Roush. So we're gonna have, we have a couple more speakers today. We're gonna have one more speaker before breakfast is served. And I am very excited to invite Brutus Canareggi up to the stage. Come on down. Robert, AKA Brutus Canareggi, was a commissioned officer in the United States Army from 1989 to 1993, stationed at Fort Ord in Monterey, California. In 1999, he and his newlywed wife, who's here today, moved to the town of Millis, where they raised their 2 children on Blueberry Hollow Farm, which he still owns and operates. Brutus has been the director of the Department of Public Works in Franklin, Massachusetts since 2005. Previously, he served as the director of Public Works for the town of Millis from 2002 to 2005. In Franklin, he is directly accountable to the town administrator and town council for all operations of the DPW in the following areas: engineering, highways, grounds, solid waste, recycling station, street lighting, and water and sewer. Under Mr. Canareggi's direction, Franklin has been at the forefront of drinking water, sewer, and stormwater innovation and compliance over the last 20+ years. Mr. Canareggi, if he's not busy enough with that job, is also the current Millis Town Moderator, a position that he has held for the last 4 years. He was chairman of the Millis Planning Board for 19 years. Mr. Canareggi earned Bachelor of Science degrees in Business and in Plant and Soil Science from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst and a Master's Certificate in Public Administration from Suffolk University. In 2021, he was recognized as one of the top 10 public works leaders in the country by the American Public Works Association. And without further ado, I will turn the podium over to Brutus.
Can you hear me? That was quite an introduction. As Shan said, I am Bruce Canareggi. I've been your Public Works Director for 20+ years. I was asked to speak today as a veteran. I joined the Massachusetts National Guard initially when I was 17 years old, 17 years young, as a junior in high school. I would also like to recognize Senator Rebecca Rawls, Representative Jeff Roy, members of the Franklin Town Council, Town Administrator Jamie Helen, Town of Franklin, my fellow Town of Franklin employees, particularly Shannon and his bid her team. Usually my voice carries. Obviously I want to thank my fellow veterans that are here today. I'm honored to speak to you today, but I can't help thinking that now I'm that old veteran that speaks in Memorial Day and Veterans Days. I can't believe that. I was the little kid that used to go out with my parents, go to different, now I'm that guy. So it's kind of full circle. Additionally, my grandfather, Pasquale Ambrose Canareggi, migrated here from Italy, served during World War II, and ultimately retired as Lieutenant Colonel in the Quartermaster Corps. My father, Robert Canareggi, was drafted during the Korean War and served as a mechanic. And my niece, Gianna, presently Franklin High School graduate, 2019, is at Advanced Individual Training down in Fort Sam Houston, Texas, to become a combat medic. I personally think it's kind of cool that that's 4 generations of Cantor Ridges that have served in the Army. Not a lot of people can say that, the fans. As I mentioned before, I was 18 years of age, so my parents had to sign a waiver so I could join up. I'm sure you can all understand that my mother, being a mother, was very nervous and afraid and not happy with my choice. I had to convince her. And thinking the reason why I joined the Army, was not really sure. I did not know the Army could get, I was looking at the Army to get a job. I guess I wanted to be a lead B, if you remember that slogan. I was hoping for travel, adventure, and experiences. No way to pay for college. I spent the summer of 1983, between my junior and senior year in high school, attending infantry basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. I was trained by many Vietnam veterans. Not sure what basic training is like now, but I can tell you it was very hands-on back then. We went to sleep in Iraq, bruised and sore, but proud of what we were being trained to do. On a sidebar, I can tell you, when I came back to high school as a senior, played football. After bayonet training at Fort Benning, Georgia, high school football was relatively easy. I can just tell you that. Okay. I returned to Fort Benning after graduation from high school to complete my training. I love the infantry. I was signed to Alpha Company, 104th Infantry, Yankee Division, Massachusetts National Guard, Agawam, Mass. During college, I participated in the Army ROTC program at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, and was ultimately commissioned as an officer and was selected to serve on active duty. I served 5 years, this is my most training, with the 2nd 9th Cavalry, 7th Infantry Division out of Fort Ord in Monterey, California. I can honestly say joining the Army was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. As I stated earlier, my thoughts for signing up, the Army was a vehicle to travel. I lived basically areas for more than 3 months in Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, Kentucky, Texas, and California. I met and interacted not only with my fellow soldiers, but also experienced the different cultures, values, and politics found throughout our wonderful country. I was able to do some really cool stuff. Fired all different kinds of weapons, from 45s, 9mm, AR-15s, grenade launchers, 50 cal, Mark 19s, Laws, Dragons, tow missile system, and even uranium depleted shells from an M1 Abrams tank. I mean, this is all really neat stuff that you get to do that most people don't, but the military offers you to do that. I was taught how to find my way anywhere using the terrain, a compass, and common sense. I roped out of helicopters and jumped out of doors of perfectly good aircraft. I learned how to triage a patient, safely use a tourniquet, and stop a sucking chest wound if needed. When I stated earlier that I got joined the military to get a job, it really did not work out that way. The military did help me find employment, indirect but significant ways. The skills I learned while serving, whether in leadership, organization, communication, problem solving, perseverance, and self-awareness, expectations, training, and personal relationship gave me the attributes to excel in my chosen profession. The military also provided me some of my best friends, longest lasting friendships. Oh yeah, it did help with schooling. I graduated from college with no student loans. When invited to speak today, I asked what topic I should speak about. It was suggested I talk about myself and my career for like 10 to 12 minutes. I just gave about 4 minutes, which is enough. We're here to observe Memorial Day, to honor and remember the brave men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice while serving and defending the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. This is a day to pay tribute to the sacrifice and express their gratitude for their service to our country and the wonderful way of life we enjoy here in the United States of America. I want to start with and take a couple moments to talk about the history of Memorial Day, in case you don't know. I know it was touched on earlier. Memorial Day originated in the aftermath of the Civil War and was originally known as Decoration Day, and observed on both sides of the Mason-Dixon line as various states and town events. It became a federal holiday in 1971, is now observed on the last Monday in May, to honor those who died while serving the United States Armed Forces. Late May was selected because all across America, flowers will be in bloom, allowing the loved ones to choose the best flowers to lay at the graves of fallen soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. As you come in here today, you can see wonderful trees outside, the plants are all blooming by this time it's frozen. We're all here today to show respect for Memorial Day. Over this upcoming weekend, we might visit a war memorial, a cemetery where veterans are buried. Some folks will place flowers or flags on the graves of veterans, or simply take a moment of silence to honor those who died in service to their country. These are all important acts that help us not forget about the souls that gave their lives for our country. At this time, I'd like to share the story of a fallen hero in my life. By telling his story, it helps me remember, and maybe helps his legacy live on with you reminding of his brave soldier. Sorry, it's got hard. First Sergeant Kevin DuPont. Kevin was my first squad leader in the National Guard. He taught me so much as a soldier and a friend. I was young, 17, like I said. He was old, he was 25. He was a Marine sniper for 6 years before he joined the Massachusetts National Guard. He had so much experience in the military and in life that I was immediately in awe of this man. Kevin was one of those guys that loved life, always had a smile on his face with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Some of you older veterans remember the saying, smoke him if you got him. Well, Kevin always had a cigarette hanging out. He taught me so much about being a soldier. Most folks think that being a soldier is exciting and adventurous. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, all my veterans will say, it's boring, it's repetitious, and painful. Kevin's upbeat personality and sense of humor was all-encompassing and contagious. No matter how much the situation sucked, Kevin's attitude made it tolerable and even fun at times. It would be so cold and raw during some training exercise in the middle of the woods at some state park. Kevin would come up with a joke or story to get your mind in a much happier place. I was fortunate to serve with Kevin for 4 years while attending college, National Guard. Sergeant DuPont spent 26 years in the Massachusetts National Guard. He was a 1976 graduate of Chicopee High School. Kevin DuPont first served in the Marine Corps and then joined the Guards in 1984. He was an infantryman, a small arms readiness training officer, and worked full-time for the Army's Guards counter-drug program out of Milford when he volunteered for duty in Afghanistan in 2008. In truth, Kevin begged to go. Kevin was 51. He was old at that time. The Army was not really looking to send 50-plus-year-old men, soldiers, to combat. He had to get special approval at the federal level to actually deploy because he was over 50. Kevin always wanted to earn the combat infantryman's badge. It was like his calling. He felt like if you had the CIB, you were a true soldier. In Afghanistan, he was a member of 1st Brigade, 203rd Corps of Afghan National Army Embedded Training Team. The unit worked with tribal leaders to identify insurgents and help train Afghan soldiers. Kevin DuPont was 52 when he died June 17, 2009. He's Brooke Army Medical Center, Texas. At the time, he was the oldest soldier to give his life in Afghanistan. His death followed a 3-month medical battle to overcome severe burns, suffered 65% of blood. He's been on a combat patrol in Afghanistan on March 8th, 2009. So, it's on VRAN overnight. The driver and another soldier also perished. Thank you for your time. Let me share a story of my friend and hero. If we could take a minute, just think about Kevin. So his legacy lives on, and maybe any other soldier, airman, Navy, perished.
Brutus, thank you so much for that very moving tribute to your friend and your fellow service member, and to all those men and women who have left us, who have served and sacrificed. We also appreciate your patriotism, dedicated military service, and we're grateful for your leadership at Franklin's DPW department for over 20 years and your service to the community at large. We know your crew came out to support you today, and we want to acknowledge all the hard work that they do. Can Carlos Ravello, Tony Bronetta, and the rest of the DPW crew please stand? Not only does this team work hard to make our Memorial Day special and other patriotic events, they work hard all year round to make Franklin a great place to live. And we appreciate everything that they do. Thank you. Hello, can I have everyone's attention, please? Oh, I hope you're enjoying the delicious breakfast cooked by our Franklin Senior Center Cafe. Let's give them a round of applause. I am going to continue with the program and am very excited to introduce our next speaker, State Representative Jeffrey Roy. State Representative Jeffrey N. Roy was first elected to the Massachusetts House of Representatives for the 10th Norfolk District in 2012. It is his great honor and privilege to represent the residents of Franklin and Medway on Beacon Hill. He was appointed as the 2nd Division Chair as part of Speaker Mariano's leadership team in February 2025. Prior to that, he served as chairperson of the Joint Committee on Telecommunications, Utilities, and Energy, and the Joint Committee on Higher Education. He is the House Chair of the Manufacturing Caucus, which promotes and encourages making it in Massachusetts. In 2011, he was elected to the Town Council in Franklin. In January 2012, he was selected to chair the town's Master Plan Committee. Prior to that, he served on the school committee and served as its chairperson for 9 of his 10 years of service with that board. He also co-chaired Franklin's anti-bullying task force. He has worked as an attorney in Massachusetts since 1986 and operates a law firm, Roy Law. He is also a bicycle rider in the annual Pan Mass Challenge event, which raises money for the Jimmy Fund. And without further ado, Representative Roy.
Thank you, Shannon, and thank you to everyone who's here. Chairman DeLorco, Commissioner Stady, and all the members of the Franklin Town Council that are here, Town Administrator, distinguished veterans, Veteran Service Officer Shannon Nesbitt, and members of the veterans organizations, families, and friends. Thank you for being here this morning. And we gather for something that's very important. We gather to remember. We gather to honor the brave men and women of our armed forces who answered the call of duty, served in harm's way, and gave their lives so that we may live in freedom. And let me just say, Brutus, I think you put that all into an amazing perspective, and your remarks here this morning were moving. And I can't thank you enough for what you had to say and what you offered to this crowd this morning. So thank you for that. It's a very handsome photo on the program, so folks don't leave without taking a peek at Brutus. But I am going to take issue with one thing you said in your remarks. 51 is not old. Any agreement in the room? So as President John F. Kennedy once said, a nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers. And this morning, Franklin remembers. This day reminds us that freedom is never free. Every liberty we enjoy, every vote cast, every word spoken freely, every opportunity we pursue has been secured by Americans willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for people they would never meet. The heroes we honor came from every corner of this nation and every walk of life. They were sons and daughters, husbands and wives, classmates, neighbors, co-workers, and friends. Ordinary Americans who showed extraordinary courage in extraordinary times. Some fought on the beaches of Normandy, some served in the jungles of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan, the deserts of Iraq and Kuwait, and countless places far from home. Different generations, different wars, one common purpose: service to something greater than themselves. To truly honor the fallen, we must tell their stories. We must teach future generations what was given for this country. We must live lives worthy of their sacrifice. That spirit, that selflessness is what Memorial Day asks us to remember. Not glory, not politics, but sacrifice. And at a time when our nation often feels divided, Memorial Day reminds us of something deeper that binds us together. Men and women we honor did not serve a political party or an ideology. They served the American people. They fought for the enduring belief that this nation, imperfect though it may be, is worth defending. And that's why this morning matters. So let us recommit ourselves to the values for which so many gave what Abraham Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion. Let us strive to build communities worthy of their sacrifice. Let us teach our children the meaning of service. Let us care for our veterans and military families. And let us never take for granted the freedoms purchased at such a tremendous cost. May we always remember those who never came home. May their courage inspire us. May their sacrifice humble us. And may we prove, through the way we live our lives and serve one another, that they did not die in vain. May God bless our fallen heroes. May God bless their families. May God bless the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Representative Roy. Memorial Day would not be complete without our parade and ceremony on the town common. I want to recognize our 2026 parade committee. So for those who are here today, as I call your name, please stand. Commander Dick Hines, Chair, and hold your applause till the end, please. Commander Ernest Carruthers, Chair. Chief Charles Allen. Chief Thomas Lynch. Lieutenant Eric Zimmerman. Frank Coughlin. District Commander John Milo. John Heffley. Patrick Doyle. Jerry Brady. Jim Lane. Judy Hines. Eric Eidswick. Terry Gilboy. Rose Turco. Art Bueling. Jan Prentice. John Yoder. Rich Gately. Dee Gately. Jennifer Brown. And Deborah Martin. Please stand. Can everyone give this crew a big round of applause? Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to invite VFW Post 3402 Commander Ernest Carruthers and American Legion Post 75 Commander Dick Hines to the stage to talk more about Memorial Day.
Good morning. All right. So some parade updates for you. The parade is Monday. Kicks off at 11 a.m. behind me at the Franklin Middle School. It's the same route as last year. It's going to go up to 140, hang a left onto Emmons, a left onto Main Street, back to the town common. It's like a NASCAR race, just a bunch of lefts. It's going to be different this year, though. We're down a couple of bands. We lost the middle school bands last year. We lost the high school band this year. So it's the charter school band. And luckily, we have the National Guard band from last year coming back to us. So we get them 2 years in a row. That's pretty unusual. So thank you to Frank for making that happen. The weather looks pretty lousy right now. It's a 35% chance of rain at 11 o'clock on Monday morning. We will make a decision by 7 a.m. on Monday and put that out via email and social media as to whether the parade is going on or not. We're leaning towards doing the parade unless it's super heavy downpours or lightning out. Either way, the ceremonies at the town common, the cemeteries, and Dean College will go forward, rain or shine. They may be abbreviated, but they will happen. We will honor those who gave their lives for our country. That's all I have.
Every year when we start to plan the parade, what'll be different this year? And as Ernie said, losing the two bands will have an impact, but we'll still have a really good parade. So hope you can all make it, I really do. I did want to touch on one other thing. Many of you are aware of the fact that we probably have one of the most beautiful memorial areas in this town of any that I have seen. It is really beautiful and something you should all be very proud of. There are 45 monuments there, 45 granite pillars with the name of an individual who died defending their country. On the day that they died, a combination group of the Legion and the VFW hold a 9 o'clock ceremony in their honor. We read their history. We have a chaplain say a prayer. And then we provide taps and a salute. So that name is spoken at least once a year. We've been doing this is our third year now that we've been doing this for the 45 fall. 3 of them are 17 years old. I mean, just think about that for just a minute. 17, we had older people sitting here. It's pretty amazing. And it's the least we can do to keep their memory alive. So I know that the dates are posted on a number of different places. If you get a chance, join us 9 o'clock in the morning on the day they died. We will do one on Memorial Day. Albert Johnson, who we do not have a proper date of his passing, so we thought it would be appropriate to do his honoring that day. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Commander Carruthers and Commander Hines, for all your hard work. And now I'd like to invite my colleague, Executive Assistant for Veteran Services, Deborah Martin, up to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you, Shannon. Today, Before I start with the announcements, today Shannon and I want to take the opportunity to recognize and thank a Franklin veteran who goes above and beyond for our community, our veteran community. He is Vietnam era Navy veteran John Heffley. John. John has been devoted to our veteran community for many years, working behind the scenes without ever looking for recognition. Here are just a few examples of what John does for our veterans here in Franklin. 9 years ago, John served on the Veterans Memorial Walkway Committee, which was responsible for the creation of the engraved brick walkway on our beautiful town common. 7 years ago, John initiated the idea for our veteran coffee socials with the local Starbucks. The socials continue to be well attended, and on average, about 40 veterans join us the first Wednesday of every month for coffee, conversation, and camaraderie. Thanks to John. Another important project John took on is working with the local Boy Scouts to clean up veterans' grave sites at Franklin's 3 cemeteries. John and his team meticulously clean the grave sites, making sure weeds and debris are removed and that every veteran site is honored with an American flag. John also works extensively with the Franklin Scouts during our Memorial Day preparations, reaching out to each troop to coordinate their roles in the parade and the ceremony. Another task John performs for us is repairing and restringing donated guitars so that our veterans who take our Tune It Out guitar class, all veterans have a good working guitar. If that isn't enough, John serves as the Junior Vice Commander of American Legion Post 75. He assists Commander Hines with the number of post activities and is responsible for maintaining and updating the post website. John provides communication and outreach to veterans living at retirement homes here in Franklin, where he hosts movies, luncheons, and other veteran-related events. Several times a year, along with fellow Legion members, John brings pizza and goodies to veterans who live at the VA Medical Center in Brockton. They don't come home. That's where they stay. They may play cards or bingo or just spend time talking about their military service. In summary, Shannon and I know we can always count on John's help if we ever need assistance with a project that benefits our veterans. We can't think of anyone more deserving of thanks and recognition. Thank you, John, for all you do. Shannon will now read a proclamation from the Executive Office of Veteran Services.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Veteran Services. Be it hereby known to all that the Executive Office of Veteran Services offers its sincerest congratulations to John Heffley. In recognition of your steadfast service to your country, thank you for unwavering dedication and exceptional leadership in the veteran community of Franklin. You are a true American hero. The Secretariat extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors, given this 22nd day of May, 2026. Congratulations to you. One more round of applause.
Bear with me with the announcement. Sometimes this can get a little lengthy, but we want to let everybody know what's happening. Before I make the announcements, I would like to recognize World War II Army veteran Cass Salemi, who will be turning 104 years old on June 14th, which happens to be Flag Day. Cass? Cass and his daughter Carol keep a busier schedule than most of us in this room. They're always attending trivia night and all kinds of veterans events around Massachusetts. So whatever you're doing, Cass, let us know your secret. Okay, so some announcements from Veteran Services. The annual Memorial Day Parade begins at noon on Monday. At 11 on Monday. Oh my gosh, no. The Memorial Day ceremony begins at noon on Monday on the town common by the War Memorial. Korean War Army veteran Victor Piscini will be our featured speaker, as well as this year's parade grand marshal. As Ernest and Dick and Shannon already mentioned, if we need to cancel any of the events on Monday, we'll post a cancellation on our Veteran Services webpage on the town website by 8 a.m. Monday morning. Also, we have a list of everybody participating in the parade. We have contact information for everyone, so we'll be reaching out to, drivers, walkers, participants. Everybody will know bright and early. The May brick installation on the Veterans Memorial Walkway was completed earlier this month. There are now 1,973 engraved bricks on our walkway. We'll be updating the brick location database on our webpage over the next few weeks. We are currently taking orders for the November brick installation, which coincides with Veterans Day. Our next monthly coffee social will be on Wednesday, June 3rd at 10 a.m. in this room. All veterans are invited for updates, coffee, and conversation. Veterans Council will meet on Thursday, June 18th at 7 p.m. here at the Senior Center. Any Franklin resident interested in veterans activities is welcome to join us. Tune It Out Guitar Lessons for Veterans meets every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. here at the Senior Center. Summer break will begin after the June 16th class, and classes will resume on September 14th. No experience is needed, and we have guitars. Warrior Within Yoga for Veterans and First Responders meets every Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. here at the Senior Center. Summer break will begin after the June 18th class. Please call our office to sign up for guitar or yoga. Shannon and I want to thank everybody who participated in our program this morning. Thank you to our veterans organizations, guest speakers, officials, and town staff for being here today. Your support is very important to our veterans and families. We are so proud of our Franklin High School chorus members and our bugler, Eric Crochet. Their presence here today was arranged by Miss Diane Plouffe, who is the Director of Visual and Performing Arts at Franklin High School. Congratulations to our graduating seniors. We also want to thank the FHS National Honor Society. Some of you at ARSH, you want to stand up, for the green bracelets on each of her place settings. Thank you for those. It's very, very nice. And we want to send a huge shout out to the Senior Center Cafe team under the direction and leadership of Ian Scungio. Thank you to Marilyn Howe, Pam Young, Kathy Duran, Jeanette Thornhill, Robert Lastman, and Gail Matenes. Thank you all. Thank you to the Friends of Franklin Elders for sponsoring today's breakfast, and to the Senior Center staff for hosting the breakfast this morning and for their assistance throughout the year. Thank you to our facilities team, who always takes great care to support our events. We'd like to also send a big shout out to the volunteers for our office, Shannon and I, for donating their time and talent to helping our office with this event. Please stand when I call your name. Pat Rindell, Jane Earls, Joni Deem, Sharon Filosa, Sally Shea, and Sue Lynch. And a special thank you to Kathy Lessica and friends for creating the patriotic favors you see on your tables. Thank you, Kathy. And to Carrie Brower of Flowers and More Design Studio of Walpole for providing the beautiful flower arrangements at a discounted cost. Carrie lives here in Franklin, but her shop is in Walpole on 1A, and she's very good to us. Which reminds me, if you're interested in taking the centerpiece home, whoever's birthday is closest to today, you can talk amongst yourselves. You can take the arrangement home with you. And thank you again to Chris Flynn and Franklin TV for their comprehensive coverage of all of our veterans events. Thank you. Thank you to Liz Siftar for donating her photography services today. Liz, thank you all much.
Good job.
And most importantly, we want to thank all of you for joining us this morning to remember our fallen brothers and sisters in arms. May those who continue to serve in harm's way be well protected, and may they return home safely. Thank you.
Thank you to Deborah Martin. She's the heart and soul of Veteran Services, and we're so lucky to have her. So we're almost at the conclusion of our program today. I will have Commander Milo, who has led the color guard today. Thank you. If you guys can get ready in the courts, if you want to come on up to sing our final song. As the color guard removes the colors, the chorus will lead us in singing, "You Do Not Walk Alone." Color guard, remove the colors.
Order up.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.